it's Courtney, and I'm back again with another episode of Girl, You Tried It. And today I'm talking about obstacle course racing, which is a sport that I've been doing for a little over a year. So today I'll say a little bit about why I like it, what I bring, how I train, and then just a couple of tips. And of course, if you have any further questions or want to tell me about your experiences, by all means, drop me a line. So this is a picture, my husband actually framed it, of me at my very first Spartan race. This was the Amesbury Sprint, the Boston Sprint, and this was last August. So that's my first picture. And boy, was that race difficult. So I like obstacle course racing because it is, for me, a real test of mental fortitude, of mental toughness. It is a sport where I feel like there's always room for improvement, always places where I can improve either by completing an obstacle that I couldn't complete before, which I'll talk about my fear of heights in a little bit. Maybe completing a course faster than I did before. I know a lot of people do that. It's also a place of really great community. I find that obstacle course racers, both on the course and off, are some of the most helpful, encouraging people ever. These are people who will, give you some applesauce, is what I do. Give you some applesauce when you're out in the course and you're hungry, or they'll share your water. They answer all types of questions about types of shoes you should wear and socks and all kinds of good stuff like that. So I should say that I am not a runner. I don't enjoy running. I do occasionally sprint a bit, but this is definitely a sport where if you want to run the race, you can run, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But if you are like me and you consider yourself a hiker, you can do that too. I'm not fast at all. I am often at the last page, if not the very end of the race standings, but that is A-okay with me. I find that I like the climbing. I love the crawling. I adore carrying heavy things. So at the races, I always find something that I can enjoy. So here, a couple of things. I'm going to turn this around a bit. I tried to set this up, so we'll see how this goes. I'll post a picture of this stuff as well. So these are my CamelBaks. So I always bring these to races. So this is Oscar right here, the green one. This is Yancey in the middle, and that's Grimace over there on the end. A CamelBak allows me to bring my own water. I don't have the bladder with me, but it's a backpack, and you unzip it like this, and you stick it down there, and there's a straw that comes out, and so you can put it on your back and drink while you're racing, which is really important. I always bring my own water because, like I said, I'm slow. So even if someone says, "Oh, there are water stations at every mile or every other mile," I know that I need more to drink. So I always bring my own stuff. I also bring my own food to races. Doesn't matter the length of the race. I always bring a bag of cashews and raisins. That's my go-to. I also like to bring oatmeal cookies, crispy oatmeal cookies, not soft oatmeal cookies, because those are not good. And sometimes I'll bring applesauce pouches or baby food pouches, like bananas or something like that, just to get a little sugar going. I pack hydration powder. This is one I just had sitting around, but I like Scratch Labs powder the best. Tastes really good to me. So this is lemon and lime. So I throw this in my water, and I might also put some Gatorade in the water, just something to get some electrolytes going. Put that over there. I also make sure I bring my shoes. So these are my Salomon Speedcross 3s. These are the shoes I always wear for every race. They have these really nice bottoms that keep me from slipping and sliding too much in the mud. So those are really awesome. Because like I said, it can take a long time for me to finish a race. the longest time I've ever spent out on a course is about 12 hours, and that was the beast that I did in April of this year. But other courses, depending on where you are, you might be out there, 5 hours, 6 hours. So because my race looks very different, even from the races of, the people they put on TV, and certainly not the races of the elite athletes, I have to bring things so that I can be comfortable out there. So I bring, I'll just hold these up. So I make sure I bring bug spray. And again, these are things that I can pack in my bag. So I bring bug spray. I bring a little biofreeze in case, pain starts coming. I bring lip balm, Tylenol. In fact, this is the bottle that I've been taking to races. So as you can see, it's been through a lot. It started out with 100 Tylenols in here, so we're dwindling quickly. So I bring that. I bring sunscreen. I bring my camera. I have a little GoPro camera, so that's good if you're out there and you want to take pictures or little videos. And it's in here, and it has this case that keeps it safe. But this is the actual camera. And I also bring extra batteries in a little plastic bag. I'm the queen of bringing always wipes, because just in case, you have to go to the bathroom at one of the porta potties and stuff, or sometimes you just want to wash your hands off or wash your face off. I think that's good to have. And I bring my headlamp. This is really important if you're doing longer races and you're going to be outside in the dark. You want to have something on your head. And first, the Spartan races, like, they will pull you off the course if it's getting dark and you don't have your headlamp. And so that's something for all the people going to Killington this weekend. Make sure you bring your headlamp. In the bag that I check for bag check, I usually bring tank top, shorts, and flip-flops. Usually after the race, I'm really sore and really tired. So after I shower off, I want to put on clothes that are just really easy to put on. And I bring a towel just to cover the seats in my car because they can get really muddy. Other than that, I also bring peppermint foot spray, peppermint foot lotion. Like, that feels really good to rub on my legs after the race is over. So yeah, that's pretty much what I bring from race to race. Again, depending on the length of the race, that determines the size of the CamelBak that I bring. So the big one is the one I bring to the super duper long races. So next weekend I am doing the Diva Dash, which is at a fairgrounds in Massachusetts, and I'm doing the Tough Mudder, which is at a golf course up in Westbrook, Maine. So not all obstacle course races are on the sides of mountains. Many of them are. But there are many races that are sort of big, sort of corporate things like Tough Mudder and Spartan and Battle Frog. But you can also find really nice, smaller local races. I did a couple of local races this year in New Hampshire, and they were just as much fun. Lots of really great volunteers and just really great community. And they were not as long as the Spartan races. And they were at different types of venues. So that's what I bring. Some training tips. Like I said, some people run and they incorporate running into their training. I don't run at all. Like I said, I might do a little, two-step if I'm feeling it. But usually I don't. My training mostly involves lots of hiking, lots of really long walks, because my biggest sort of area or biggest thing I work on is being able to stay up and stay moving for, 8 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours without getting completely exhausted. So I have to learn how to walk, complete an obstacle, be exhausted, but then still keep walking and get on to the next obstacle. So I like to find the biggest hill around and go up as many times, as I can. I do a lot of stairs to get ready for races. I do have a bucket and fill it full of gravel, which is actually a Spartan race obstacle, and climb up hills, go upstairs. That works for me. I do things like push-ups and planks. I practice my burpees because burpees are the penalty at Spartan races if you can't complete an obstacle. So I do those. I do a lot of stretching. I make sure my ankles are feeling good and that my knee is feeling good, and that's pretty much how I train. Some body weight, strength building exercises, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So some tips. So I wrote down some tips. One, make sure you bring snacks, things that you use while you're training to the race. As I said, I always bring food with me, and even if I don't use it, there's always somebody else out on the course who needs it. And also, like, it's nice. Like, I remember doing the Beast, and I got to mile 8, and it was like a 14-mile race, and I was like, man, like, this sucks. And I had like a Snickers, and I was like, all right, like, I can do this. So make sure you bring snacks. Also, because if you're out there and you get hungry and your blood sugar drops, you risk not finishing the race. You risk getting really sick, and nobody needs that. But always make sure you bring something that you've been using up to that point, because you don't want to try anything new on race day. You don't want to bring your shoes to race day for the first time. You want to break them in before you do your race. So that's one. Well, 1 and 2. Don't bring anything new to race day, and also make sure you bring snacks for yourself. You want to get an early time for the race, so the earlier you can, the better, both because it means that you have more time to complete the course. So I would never start, say, a Spartan Super in the afternoon. Like, if I can't be out there, by 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest, then that just would just make me feel more anxious. So get an early start time, as early as you can, because I found that you can always go later. So if you're like, I don't really need the super early, I can show up at noon and do the race, then you can do that. But at least for Spartan races, you can't do an earlier start time than the one you chose. So that's number 3. 4, finisher shirts, at least for Spartan races, they go up to 2X, so you can still get a really cool shirt when you're done. So I wanted to make sure I put that in there for bigger folks. You still can get a nice shirt. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help when you're out on the course. And this can mean, if you feel like if you haven't brought your CamelBak because you did not listen to me, and you feel like you're getting thirsty, or you're starting to feel lightheaded, like, don't be afraid to ask a fellow racer for some water. Ask them if they have any food. If they might have oatmeal cookies. They might have some Tylenol for you. I know that's what I do. I wind up offering people things all the time when I'm out doing races. And it's good. Like, don't be afraid to ask people for that help. Also, if you need help going over walls, if you need just reassurance, like my first race, like, I needed tons of reassurance around just how do you get through this feeling so exhausted. I'm terrified of heights, so I have had panic attacks on vertical cargo nets. Obstacle course racing has been great for helping me deal with my fear of heights, and I will post a video of the first vertical cargo net attempt. Well, I guess it wasn't an attempt. It was a triumph because I did it. But the first one that I did without having a panic attack. But I've had some really scary moments just coming up off the ground and having to trust that my arms and my legs are strong enough to keep me from hurtling back towards the earth. And just so you know, my arms have always been strong enough and my legs have always been strong enough to keep me from hurtling back towards the earth. Let's see. Another tip, these races do have like a wide mix of people. I know often in the advertising for them, they will often focus on non-fat people. And I want you to know there are fat people out there. I'm out there doing them. I weigh 260 pounds, and I'll still be out there next weekend. It's actually funny doing this video today because I should be sort of packing up Yonsei and getting ready to go out to Killington for the Killington Beast, but unfortunately I tweaked my knee. I squished it back at the Battle Frog race in July, I think. And while I'm done with physical therapy and all of that, I just don't think that my knee can take the ascents and descents that come with Killington, and that also come with beasts, because that's a lot. So I am one beast away from finishing my double trifecta for this year. So like I said, I did one Spartan race last year, and then this year I set a goal to complete the trifecta, and due to a number of circumstances, I wound up doing extra races, and now I need one more beast to do a double trifecta. So maybe I'll go to South Carolina to do the beast there. I'm not sure. I might just let it go for the year and come back and try it again next year, because I am happy with what I did this year. And I'm kind of like maybe you just want to like kick it and chill out and stuff. So we'll see. So anyway, so that's obstacle course racing. Like I said, some people run it. I don't run it. There are obstacles that are easier for me than others. I'm very good at carrying things and lifting things. I am not very good at getting over walls. Not only am I still terrified of heights, but I'm also terrified of coming down on my ankles really hard, and that's really scary. But the good thing about these races is that, like I said, you can keep at them. Like, you keep going back to them. Like, I keep going back to them, and I keep trying obstacles over and over and over again, and eventually I get them. So it is my sort of understanding that that'll happen with things like monkey bars, climbing up the rope at the Spartan race. I said that was going to be my goal for 2016, is learning how to climb a rope. So we'll see if that happens. But if not, then I'll just push it back to 2017, which would be awesome. And so finally, there are, wide ranges of races with big ranges of lengths and venue types. So like I said before, the race I'm doing next week is a sort of 5K race at a fairgrounds. That goes all the way up to not just, Spartan races. Those are the races I do the most, but or the Spartan Beast, but you can do an Ultra Beast, which is 26 plus miles, where you do the Beast course twice. There are tons of people who do that, and I think that's just amazing. But really, any one you do, you'll go out and you'll be in pain, and it'll be great and terrible and wonderful, and then you'll be all finished, and hopefully you'll say like, wow, I really like that. I think I want to do it again. So I have 3 more races this year. So I have our Diva Dash and then Tough Mudder, and then I will be at Fenway for the Fenway Sprint, which is in November, and I'll be there with my husband, who is doing his very first Spartan race. So I'm really excited for him too. So yeah, so that is it for obstacle course racing. I will post this video in a longer blog post, and I'll include some pictures of this stuff so you can see it, and I'll also include some important resources, things that I found helpful, groups that I found to be helpful, particularly Facebook groups, and I will also include that video of me going over the vertical cargo net and some other assorted funny pictures of me at different races. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Girl, You Tried It. And I hope you go out and consider obstacle course racing as a way to give your exercise, I'll say this is what it's done for me. It gives my exercise purpose. So when I'm in Zumba class or hip hop class, yes, like I'm there and I'm dancing and I'm having a good time, but it's also helping me with agility, helping me, with movements from side to side. It helps me build, really strong leg muscles so that I can get up the mountain. And so that's really important. I always like to have some sort of race or some sort of adventure on my calendar at all times, because like I said, it just gives my training purpose, and I feel like I'm actually working towards something. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will consider going out and doing a race. And if you would like to do the Fenway Sprint with me, drop me a line, because I have a couple of race codes. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you're not ready to do a race yet, there are great opportunities to volunteer, and you can learn more about the race, how it's put together. You can actually see the venue. You can talk to racers, and they usually find like really great assignments for you. Like I've done finish line duty, I've done kids races, I've worked with The Biggest Loser, off-road challenge. I've done that. I'll be doing registration pretty soon at another race. So you can find lots of really fun things to do even as a volunteer. And often as a volunteer, you get an opportunity to either get a free race or a really deeply discounted race. So yes, okay, now I think that's it. That's all I have to say about obstacle course racing. Oh yeah, don't wear cotton because you will get wet. And it gets really heavy. But I'll post some pictures of me at different races and you can see what I wear. All right, that's really it. If you have more questions or want to talk more about this, or just want to find out how many Tylenol I have left in my bottle, send me a note. All right, thanks. Hope you have a great day. Bye.